let's talk goalkeepers. Joe Walsh arriving from Queen's Park Rangers. It's a strange situation for a young player to come into. He's got a bit of experience in the EFL, both with QPR and previously with Gillingham. How has he come to your attention, and how big a challenge is it to integrate a goalkeeper who's on loan for 7 days when you've got a couple of days to your next game?
Well, it's a challenge, but we're used to doing things like that, or we're used to having to do things like that. We had a lot of goalkeepers on our radar in the summer, so you go through them. We're restricted to the fact that we can't loan Premier League players, so we have to go into the EFL or League One or League Two. And he comes with good references. We've seen him play. So hopefully it's a big opportunity for the lad himself, and for us to go again and try and win a game on Saturday.
21 is, by goalkeeper standards, pretty young. How important is it that he does have that bit of experience, and he has been out on loans before and he's played in the EFL? It is, and then, to have him, he knows what he's going to. He's not a complete rookie. So people of the older generation might recognise the name with one of the members of the Eagles, who had a good solo career, a great song called Life's Been Good. So hopefully life will be good for us on Saturday. Just the wider goalkeeper picture. Toby Savin, I've seen is here today continuing his recovery. Jack McIntyre's done a really good job for you in the trophy games, and when he's been called upon, you've had young Ollie Reaver on the substitutes bench. Although these short-term emergency loan keepers are very much short-term, how much do you think they'll be passing on to these younger guys who will be hoping to take the number 1 shirt?
Well, you've missed Liam Ishabod out of that as well, and Liam's getting back to fitness now. It was great to see him training yesterday, to be honest. And they all learn off each other, and they've got a really safe pair of hands with Andy Dibble in charge of them. He's got a great manner, a really good person, but he's got a great manner and he's good at his job. He's thorough at his job. He spends hours studying the performances of not only our goalkeepers but other goalkeepers that could be on our radar. He knows what we want from a goalkeeper, and he tries to push that into them. The style that we want a goalkeeper to perform for Accrington Stanley, and so he's on the same page with us on that, and he tries to emphasise it, and he's good. He's just a really good coach. We were delighted to get him back. Having had him when we had all them years ago when we won the conference, and he was a big part of the development of Darren Randolph and Robbie Elliott. And his mum does make lovely Welsh cakes as well. So he's the whole package.
You had a lot of goalkeepers that season, didn't you? So I guess Andy Dibble had to show his experience and versatility, and you can't put an old head on young shoulders. But is this the closest thing to that, having a guy who's been there and done it, passing those things on?
I think so, and he has been there and done it. So he's been in the situation he's in, but then he has got a good manner about him, and he's got a good way of coaching. So he's a good coach. So it's all right being a great player. Not every great player is a great coach, and he's a very good coach. He has a way of getting it across to the players in a calm manner. That's not to say he's a soft touch, by the way, because I've seen him lose his temper a few times. You don't want to be in the firing line when he loses his temper, that's for sure.
For the players playing in front of Joe Walsh at the weekend, is it about establishing those relationships quickly? I think loan players have integrated themselves pretty well for you this season, as demonstrated by the fact you were going to make Brad Hills captain the other night.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we were mindful of is the personality. So, we do our homework on that as well. John McCracken came with a great personality, great influence on the team, and I'm sure Joe will be the same.
As far as the other night is concerned, I'm not sure there's too much point going over the circumstances that led to the game being postponed, other than to say it's been rescheduled for next week and £1 tickets and people can get refunds. Is it pleasing to see that people are going to get the best opportunity they can, short of making it free, to come and watch that game?
I think it's great. I think it's a great gesture. All this nonsense about the categories and raising the money for games, it's a load of nonsense, really. We give a good experience at this club and we charge a lot cheaper than a lot of other clubs. And, you know, when you're in the ground, it doesn't cost as much as other clubs. And I think the majority of fans who come here and really enjoy the away experience. Now, you'll always have people who moan. I think a lot of the moaning that went on after the Wrexham game was only consequence of the result, really. You know, if Wrexham had won, I don't think he'd have seen 70-80% of that. And so, you know, plenty of big clubs have come here and really enjoyed the experience. Not always enjoyed the results. And so, you know, I think this is just another step in what we try and do to make it an overall experience. You know, not just the 90 minutes. You know, the facilities that we've got now are very, very good. It is, you know, there's bands on, there's live football if you want to watch it on massive screens in comfort. And you know, often there's lots of promotions on throughout the day, and you know, Saturday's one in particular. You know, we've got the food bank, which I think is a really, really important event of the year, and I hope everyone comes out and supports that. You know, it's something that I know the players care about, and I know all the staff care about, and so I hope that's very well subscribed on Saturday.
Does that sum up a football club being at the heart of its community? I mean, the circumstances of why food banks are needed is one thing, but being there and providing that service.
It is sad that food banks are needed, but that doesn't mean that you can't help people when they need help. And you know, a lot of people rely on this to be fed, and so I think whatever support that can be done should be done if you can, you know, and we'll a lot of the players and the staff will be supporting it, and really we should be taking this further than just Christmas, really, you know. It should be a more of an ongoing thing, in my opinion, anyway, but that's possibly for another day.
Game wise, how much does that postponement on Tuesday affect the way that you've prepared and continue to prepare for Doncaster at home on Saturday?
It's difficult, you know. You don't really like going too long without playing. Sometimes a rest can do you the world of good. You only ever know till you see the game pan out. And even then you can play really well and get beat, or you can play badly and win, and it'll have no consequence really about whether you've played or not. People are always looking for excuses or reasons. Sometimes there's no reason or excuse, it's just the way fate happens and the way things pan out. What you can do is you can work hard, you can prepare hard, and you can train hard, and you can plan hard to get everything that you can affect on the game in your favour. And that still mightn't be enough, but as long as you're comfortable in yourself that you've done everything in your power to get us at our optimum level of performance, then you'd have to just hold your breath and hope then. But the worrying times is when you get all sorts of things that hamper your preparation. I still think our preparation's been okay. You know, we've got enough time to prepare for what is a very, very big game for us.
Yeah, those 3 points would be very significant, wouldn't they? Still within touching distance of the playoff places, but I think the gap is something like 6 points to 6th place now, and it feels like there is a bit of a gap being formed.
You've got to get back in. You've got to get back in there as quickly as you can. You know, Doncaster will feel they can climb the table. So it's there's always obstacles that get put in your way, injuries, suspensions, you know, weather. But we've got a great set of lads in there. We're blessed with a really, really positive set of fans who very rarely let their heads drop, who stay with us. So, you know, we'll prepare them as best we can, and then hopefully we'll get the added bit of luck that you need.
Is there always a little bit of concern when you're on a run of not winning too many games, 1 in 7, 1 in 8 in all competitions, I think it is?
great when you pluck these out, don't you, to try and make me feel bad.
Clearly not positive reporters.
Well, you know what? You know what I say. I'm always a student of form. Our last time out, we lost 4-3 in a game that we shouldn't have lost, in my opinion. I mentioned this last week. A lot of people go on the XG, and ours was off the graph. So ours was higher than anyone's in the league. Comfortably higher than Swindon's, but it's unfortunately they're not the stats that give you the 3 points. But we just need to tighten up. And I think everybody in this league knows that you're going to score goals. You've just got to tighten up and not let them go in your own net. And it's disappointing when we don't score and you think the chances that we've missed. And we missed lots during the night. But the way we played and the way we finished the game, you'd have to go into this game positively. I'm feeling positive.
And you've played 210 minutes against Doncaster recently in FA Cup ties. I guess there's not too much for either side to learn about each other at this point, is there?
No, I mean, pretty much an open book, either side. They've played this week and, rested quite a few players in the Bristol Street Motors Cup, so... it's only when you get to the nitty-gritty of the game, and when the game pans out, you need a bounce, you need a save or a block or a goal for yourself. And it all goes hand in hand with how hard you work, and our players know the standards that we have to reach. And Scholes's quickly to point out when they fall short of the running stats. When the running stats are high, we generally get a performance and we generally get a result, and so hopefully the running stats will be high. Now, we shouldn't be hoping, because we know, I spoke about this, about defining the parameters of success, and that's something that the players will be very, very aware of, that should be a given, how hard we work.